Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mahjong Talk. I'm your host Peter Vong, and today we're going to talk about the Pygmalion effect and the Golem effect. So if you're new to the channel, considering hitting a like, a subscribe, as well as drop a comment down below on what you think of the content so far. Alright, so before I get into the game, challenge to leave the room is still up on Mahjong Soul. So if you guys want to check out Mahjong Soul to check out this little event, be sure to do so. Every time when you do a certain condition, you get amount of ice cream, and who doesn't love ice cream, right? So I guess today's goal for me for this event, I still need to win a game with Ron to get 3 ice cream cones, and I need to get, let's see, a seat win, prevailing win, or a dragon to get some shaved ice. So let's get to that. So gold room. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm very active on Twitter, so check me out there. Bing. Up a little bit. Make sure I sit up right. Hey. So the Pygmalion effect. So you probably have not heard this term before. If you have, you probably are a psych buff. So the Pygmalion effect is basically just spreading good vibes. That's basically what it is. It's basically like how a student basically gets encouragement from a teacher saying, oh, you could do this, you can do this if you just try, or if you apply this technique, or I'll help you get through that. So basically it's positive reinforcement. That's what the Pygmalion effect is. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'll put how to read it on the screen for you guys. You can correct me in the comments if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And what I love about the Pygmalion effect is well, obviously, you know, it spreads positive vibes to everybody, and that's what I'm all about. Is basically just spreading the positive vibes to everybody, because we all have to encourage each other, especially if we all live together in this world that we live in. But unfortunately, there's also the opposite of that, which I think a lot of us have experienced and a lot of us are experiencing right now. And I hope if you are experiencing it, I want to give you the positive vibes to you. It's the Golem effect, and the Golem effect is basically, you know, the opposite of that, where the world treats you like shit and everyone talks down on you and everyone says you can't do this, you can't do that, and everything like that. Now, for some people say, oh, that doesn't bother me because it makes me stronger and it makes me more determined. However, I am not one of those people. I really falter when it comes to that stuff, especially when someone does it to me purposefully. Usually it's unintentionally when I face the Golem effect, but some people do it purposefully, and I really just can't stand people that do that. Especially growing up as Asian American, we're so used to growing up with the Golem effect because our parents went through that, and you know, and their upbringing as well, which I sometimes, if you guys are familiar, have been with me since the beginning, I've been talking about something called childhood emotional neglect, and I think a lot of Asian Americans suffer from that. I'm not someone that deals with statistics or data on that, but from my experience, I've noticed that a lot of Asian Americans have dealt with that type of issue, especially if they grew up with parents that were immigrants, because I think like a lot of immigrant parents had that same upbringing. Not all of them, but some of them, like a majority of them, I think, that they had to deal with a world that basically constantly puts them down to the point where it feels like it totally debilitates them it debilitates them and makes them think that the world is nothing more than just this plethora of bleakness that they have to have control over. And of course, the thing of it is that the world can be bleak sometimes, but at the same time, it's not all bleak. And I think people forget that because everyone is so used to saying the world is a horrible place, people can't be trusted, and all this negativity that makes you feel like you have to constantly be on guard and have arrows in your back, like arrows ready to be shot from your bow, or a katana on your side. I watch too much anime, but at the same time, it's those type of vibes that make people feel as if life is just all about defending, attacking, and all that stuff. And in actuality, we just want to be able to sit at home and lift our feet up and just watch Netflix or watch YouTube or just read a good book. That's all we want to do. We just want to stay in a decent place where we don't feel like we're threatened by anybody. And so I keep during the week I kept thinking about, how does this whole thing started? How did this whole trend of aggression started? And most people would be like, well, it's evolution, it's a natural selection and everything like that. Well, the thing of it is that even though natural selection, I kind of subscribe to the idea, but at the same time, I never fully subscribe to the cruelty of human nature as much. Now, many of you guys would probably be thinking, oh, Peter, you're just basically picking and choosing certain facts that fit your own personal narrative or something like that. But at the same time, my personal narrative works for me. Does that mean I'm denying facts? Maybe, at some point. Because for me, even though I'm a science guy, I really love science and mathematics. I do believe that there is some point of uncertainty that we just don't know about certain things. And I don't believe that all humans are meant to be, these creatures that are all about domination. I believe that we humans are much more complicated than that. But some people basically come to that conclusion that we're all just animals ready to pounce on each other, take everything that the other person has because of jealousy and all that stuff. And I just don't see that. I just don't see that because I guess it's because I'm just a sheltered person growing up, because I'm an only child. And oh boy, that's gonna hurt. I'm in 4th place, but it's still East 2, so I still have a chance. And, I'm gonna try not to take something. I'm gonna see what I can get here. Ooh. Let's discard the North here. Yeah, I know in society, especially when it comes to economics and dealing with like job security, people are all about saying that the competition's high. There's a competition that's high, for people that want to be physics professors or math professors, or the competition is high for people that want to be, lawyers, doctors, the high-paying jobs that our parents basically told us that we should be because it's going to give us a lot of money and security and possibly happiness, if they believe that. I'm not basically blaming parents for reinforcing the Golem effect or anything. It's just that parents that grew up with that kind of upbringing, they didn't know better. I believe my father grew up with that same upbringing, and most of the time, whenever I help him with housework or anything, he kind of like reinforces the fact that I don't know as much as he does when it comes to like doing repair work or how to hold a screwdriver correctly or anything like that. Of course, if any of you guys are guys, you probably are being like, you don't know how to hold a screwdriver correctly? What's wrong with you? I don't do that much housework, like when it comes to repairs and all that stuff. I try to learn as much as from my dad, but my dad is not really a very patient teacher, so he does shout at me whenever I don't do something correctly. And plus, my dad is a very impatient person when it comes to doing things because he wants to do it in a timely manner. Of course, since we do do a lot of do-it-yourselfers. My dad is the best do-it-yourselfer in the house. The problem is that sometimes when we do the do-it-yourselfers, I know that I always expect one thing, and usually when my dad does a repair, there's always one point where we mess up somewhere, and then there's the typical "oh shit" line that comes out. So, you know, like, and then the repair work takes a little bit longer, and my dad is not really good at explaining steps. So I sometimes ask why I would do something, and he just doesn't answer, because to him it's just natural, but to me, I'm still curious on why I have to do certain things when it comes to house repairs. So, you know, but my dad is not all about the Golem Effect, because like he doesn't encourage me verbally, but he does it, I think, whenever I'm in I guess things that are beyond my control, and I guess talk to him about that stuff, but I barely talk to him about problems that are beyond my control. I usually talk to my mother about that stuff. Yeah, because my mom and I are very close. My dad, we're pretty close when it comes to like talking about things that we're interested in. Because he's really, like, he got me into crypto, as I probably told you guys in the previous videos. And, you know, he got me into cryptocurrency, and I started investing in crypto, and I started loving it, you know. So my dad comes into my life like very sleight of handly, I guess. And whenever his crypto goes up, he tells me, of course, my dad tends to make everything a competition. So whenever he asks me how much crypto I have, he compares it to how much he has. And obviously he will have more, because he obviously is the moneymaker in the family. Of course, my dad is not like an office worker or anything like that. He's also someone that works in the manufacturing industry. So basically my family is just a family of factory workers. But because of my dad, I try to learn how to think outside the box. So the thing of it is that, getting back to the Golem Effect, I think is a very hazardous effect, because I think that's the reason why mental health sucks in our society, because we're so used to basically saying you're not good enough, or, you know, everything is not meant to go your way, and because it's not meant to go your way, you will never achieve anything in life. And I think that's the narrative that everybody wants to put on, especially for society, because that we have a lot of people, and there's a lot of different perspectives. And because of those different conflicting perspectives, we are dealt with certain patterns that we kind of are sort of trained to see by other people. So for instance, one example I would say is connections. Connections is a good example. Let's say you don't have any connections at all, and you don't get hired anywhere. So the narrative we would tell ourselves is that we're meant to believe that, oh, because I don't have connections, I obviously will never get ahead in life. Which is the wrong idea to think about, because there are actually people that don't even have friends and they get by okay. So life is not very cut and dry. But the problem is that people want it to be cut and dry, because they want it so simple to understand, so they don't have to think about it. But the problem is that life is unpredictable, and life is filled with so many surprises. But the best thing about life filled with surprises is that it's not really as predictable as people can conceive. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's why I created this channel, because I want to spread the Pygmalion effect to you guys. Because, you know, I believe you guys deserve the Pygmalion effect, deserve the positive vibes that you need. Because some of you are probably working office jobs that you don't like, or some of you guys are stuck at a place in your life that you really, really wish that the pain would just go away, you know? And nobody should have unbearable pain. It's all right to have pain, because pain is a part of life, and you will go through pain. The problem is that if that pain is lasting so long that it totally debilitates you from everyday life. Let's see here. Third place. Okay, I gotta redeem myself here. Ooh, I just need to earn a lot more points so I can get that. Oh, I got some things for the event. Ooh, some ice cream. Claim that. Claim that. So I just basically have to win a game. Yeah, I have to win with Ron. So let's go with last game. Because I usually play like 2 games for you guys. Because I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. Because I want to give you guys the positive vibes you guys need. Because sometimes you guys have really bad environments around you. Whether it be your bosses, your coworkers, or both. And hopefully, I hope not, but maybe your friends and family are kind of like creating this cloud around you. I'm not saying that that's a possibility, but you know, that sometimes people surround themselves with the wrong people and they don't even know it. You know, and sometimes you have to really think about who you're surrounding yourself with. I always surround myself with people that just hang out with me because, you know, it seems natural. You know, all my friends, I've had my friends like for decades. Well, I don't mean decades. I mean, I'm only like 31 years old. So I would have to say, yeah, like I've had my friends for like about more than a decade. Yeah, like my best friends that I hang out with, yeah, I've hung out with them since, wow, since middle school. Yeah, like since middle school. For those of you who are not in the States, middle school is like junior high school. Yeah, I'll take that. Too bad I don't have those red dragons. I would love those red dragons. I would have gotten a Yakuman hand right there. Yakuman hand is basically just a high-ranking hand. It's a big, big hand. Okay. Should I go for all bamboo? I think I could go for all bamboo if I can. It depends on what I draw. But then again, I probably can just go for 2 dragons. Oh yeah, and I need a dragon, right? Oh man, no, I probably shouldn't have done that. Because see, I discarded the 2, and I would need a 2 to complete this. Okay. Okay, I gotta brainstorm here. Pong? No, I would be in footy 10 if I do that. So I gotta get rid of this 3. If I get another 4, I could probably make this work. I hope I don't get like a 5 of bamboo or another 3 of bamboo because that would suck. Okay, a con. Let's do that. Okay, good. That person didn't need a 9. Now the problem is that since this person in reach, I am debating whether to discard these 2. Ooh, and that makes it worse. Okay. Yo, this is intense, guys. It's really intense. Okay. I'm not gonna get those shinies there. Oh, okay, good. It's not me. Oh, that's not a bad hand. Oh. Well, at least it wasn't on me. That's the most important thing. At least it wasn't on me. Although I feel bad for that person that lost out because that's a lot of points to lose. Oh, that person's east, so that means it's going to continue. I think for this hand I'm going to go for simple. Yeah, because the thing of it is that, like, you know, I know a majority of us in society are working jobs that we probably are not comfortable with, or jobs that we know that we can do for our lives. We compare where our lives are now, and we end up looking at it and saying, like, man, like, why do I have this job? I'm not even passionate about it. And then you think about, oh, it's the money and everything like that, and then you realize that your job is draining you, and it really sucks. It really does suck. And some people, because there's a stigma about, like, I would have to say, like, feeling those feelings, that people think that it's a trigger for you to complain. And for me, I tend not to complain about my job. At the same time, you know, there are feelings that built up in me. Like, I don't hate my job, but at the same time, I'm also indifferent to it. When you're indifferent with your job, you feel as if you don't know if you should leave, but at the same time, you feel as if maybe there might be a day where you should. And it's a really hard decision because it takes a lot of courage to quit your job. For me, I probably will do it eventually. I don't know. I honestly don't know, to be honest. Because, you know, life has different... Like I said, life is unpredictable. And it can work negatively or positively. But I always go back to the default in my head. If you guys have ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, I hope you guys have. There's this character called Iroh. And Iroh is like the wise man character of the series. And I always try to think about the quotes he would always say, because he always says really good quotes. And I remember one quote he said to his nephew Zuko, who is the main character of one of the main characters in the series. And he was a royal prince. And there was a point in the story where he kind of wants to be in one place, like, you know, be in the palace and all that stuff. But they turn out to but in the series they end up going into a regular town as just regular folk. And he makes a complaint. The line was that he said was, "This city's a prison. I don't want to make a life here." And many people could probably sympathize with that because, like I said, like, some people are in jobs that they don't like, and they probably think of their job that way. But then I always remember Iroh's quote. He would basically say, "Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not." And so I try to think about it that way. Does that mean I just basically just stay at my job and not do anything to improve my life? Absolutely not. I basically just continue to improve my life, but outside of work as well. And that's how basically a lot of people develop themselves. They develop themselves outside of the circumstances that they're put into. And, you know, the way this channel is going, I don't know how big it's going to grow, to be honest, but I still love doing it. I still love giving you guys the positive vibes, because I don't know when you guys will be watching this or listening to me speak through these videos, because some of you are probably listening to me while you're going to work. Some of you guys are probably listening to me while you're on break at work. Some of you guys are probably just listening to me at home because you guys just need a good pick-me-up. And I'm really happy to give you that pick-me-up. Because we all need that. It's like what therapists say. Therapists always say that everybody needs a therapist, especially for them, because they have to be the therapist for somebody that needs therapy. But then again, they're also humans, so they also need to deal with treating their own internal, I wouldn't say demons, I would have to say inconveniences. But some people do have demons, though. I'm not going to lie, though. But the point of therapy is to turn those demons into inconveniences. And those inconveniences are meant to be dealt with and handled. And everyone has the power to handle them. It's just that some people don't know when to call for help, and some people don't know when to actually face it themselves. And that's the really hard part about life, is that you don't know when to face something yourself, or when you need help facing it. I don't know. Because see, these two people are in reach, and I don't want to deal their tile. That's the problem. Okay. I still lose points, but hopefully it's not as much. Okay, that's split in within 3 people, so still in second place. So I just have to maintain that. Wow, I get two of these, but none of them are my actual wind. that's really inconvenient. Really inconvenient. And that's what life is sometimes about. There are inconvenience in life. But the problem is that we turn our inconveniences into terrible events, such as one is one is like your car breaking down. That's a good one. When everyone's car breaks down, they make it the end of the world. Like, say if they have to go to work or they have this date to go to or something like that. And you know, I understand because it's your car. Which is the reason why I sold my car, because I hate dealing with car problems. Because when car problems happen, you have to take it to the mechanic and all that stuff. So I would have to say it's great that I work with my mother in the same company, because we basically just take one car. And I think that's where the future's going. The future's going where we're going to own less cars, create less pollution for the planet. Of course, some people love driving. So if people want to own cars, they can own cars. I'm not holding anything against them. But I think there are going to be more Teslas and electric cars in the future. And that's the thing too, because like people also think that you need to own certain things in order to be happy. One time when I was actually talking about selling my car, my friends were talking about, oh, what type of car are you going to own? Like, because they think that I'm going to buy a new car. And I was thinking about it at the time. And everyone was, my friends were basically like, oh, you should buy a Tesla. Because, Peter, I could see you owning a Tesla because it's an electric car and it's good for the environment and it's science and all that stuff. I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, like, that would be cool, owning a Tesla. But then I thought about it and I was like, if it breaks down, I have to take it to the Tesla dealership to have it maintained and like looked after. Not only that, I have to also make sure that the car is in good condition. And I also have to charge the car. I have to like maintain it and everything like that. Now, you guys are probably thinking like, oh yeah, well that's what happens when you own stuff. But at the same time, will it make me happier? And I think it would make me happy for the moment of owning it, but it won't make me happy in the long run, if that makes any sense. Because for me, I think owning things, like, as a kid, when I saw a toy at the store, obviously, I just begged my parents to buy it. And if I didn't get it, I would obviously cry, and my parents would drag me out of the store. Typical childhood. At the same time, it was because of my parents that I witnessed them, like, pay the bills with credit cards and, deal with money problems when I was a kid. And even though I didn't fully understand the hardship that they were going through, I think, like, as a kid, I kind of conceptualized, like, sometimes they would argue about how they were going to pay certain bills or something like that. Or, oh, man. Okay, so 1,000 points. 1,000 points. Not too bad. Not too bad. And, this is why I don't really try to own as many things. Although with books, my room is filled with too many books. I admit that. Even my mother says my room has too many books. I have too many physics books. I have too many self-help books. Like, I invest in myself when it comes to my own education. But I probably overdo it at times. Because my room is completely filled with books. And many people would probably say, like, Peter, like, you have too many books, you should sell some of your books. I would earn a lot of money selling my books. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I don't think the books that I own would probably... I would not be able to part with my books, because I feel as if... my dad has this habit too, where basically he would keep old things, like old pieces of wood or old pieces of metal or wire, and he would just keep it in a box. And whenever he did housework, he would basically go back to that toolbox and basically like, okay, I could use this. I can finally use this. And that's how I am with books. With books, I feel like I'm going to use this knowledge someday. And it probably gains dust. And then suddenly there's this one event where basically like, wait, I have a book that talks about this. I got to get it. So for me, I think like, I like owning books, but I don't like owning other things. And my best friend, he's a minimalist. And he doesn't really buy a lot of things, like products like shoes or like clothes and stuff. But he does love spending money on experiences. In fact, the day before my birthday, we went to New York City to eat at omakase, which is a Japanese restaurant that specializes in sushi, and it's actually like when the sushi chef actually makes the sushi for you. And the funny story is that my best friend, he didn't look at the price. He didn't look up reviews on the pricing of the place. I thought we were gonna spend like $100, like maybe like 150, maybe close to 200. We spent over over 200 per person. The bill turned out to be at least over $900 for all three of us. $900, over $900. And the funny thing is that I was in the bathroom at the time when they got the bill. And when I came back, I was like, why you guys look so shocked? And I looked at the bill and I was like, what the heck is this? and I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And when I thought about it, it was an experience. I mean, like, that was the first time I actually ate caviar. There was a small sushi dish where they actually serve caviar, and I was like, oh, I had actually never had caviar before. And when I ate it, like, the experience itself was enough for me to not realize how expensive it was until I actually saw the bill. And I think because I was with my two best friends, and my other best friend who was with us, it was his first time at actually omakase, and since it was his first time, me and him, we just couldn't believe how expensive it was. Okay, good. I got some items. Nice. Because I gotta really bond this character, because this character, I'm so close to actually getting this last heart, but I have to make sure I gain more. Okay, so let me just go back to main screen here. Okay. Alright, so thank you for joining me today, guys. If you like what you saw, considering it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can keep updated on my latest videos. So you can get the latest positive vibes for either your daily workday or just your typical day at home. Either like chilling on Netflix or whatever. So, positive vibes to you all. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.